So wrestling is definitely changing. On Monday Night Raw, there was a big scene where The Rock took Cody Rhodes out onto the car park and smeared his blood over a belt which said Mama Rhodes on it. Not only is this the first time we've seen blood itself on Raw in a very long time, the language used was also full of slurs towards the other two people, and on the show completely there was a lot of interesting conversations that you wouldn't have seen before. Now this has led a lot of people to say the Attitude Era is back, and while I can kind of agree with this, I think it's for many different reasons. Let's get into it. Now, despite there being a report on social media that apparently they've been told not to swear or not to say certain things, it seems like the wrestlers do not care, and maybe this isn't even true in the first place, as on Raw we saw a lot of stuff come back that we haven't seen before. For instance, even in the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins segment, a lot of them were speaking over each other. It was a lot of a mess, but it was also quite funny, and they kept feeling like it was more of a realistic conversation. There was also jabs at being homophobic in there, and also about obviously Vince McMahon with them not mentioning his name, while also being a lot of swearing. And with the Rock segment, it seems like he comes up to Cody Rhodes and says, "I'm gonna make you bleed," and later on in that night he does, so this is something they definitely planned. Now in the Attitude Era, wrestling definitely took a back seat. The more important thing was the stars in the company and the wrestling that came with it. So the storylines were very vital, and they were what people actually cared about rather than necessarily having that blow off match. It was all about the drama around it. And now I think WWE is still very much wrestling orientated, and there was still a lot of matches on this Raw. It does seem it has taken a backstage for the story since Triple H has come in, with the long extended stories of the Bloodline and Judgment Day, and even Damage Control taking front center stage. And I think this, with a mix of wrestling, is the best way to go. Make the stories feel important, make the wrestlers feel important, and build it for a very long time, so you get these big blow off matches and everyone is excited for WrestleMania 40. And this is why I think is probably the simplest thing to the Attitude Era. In the Attitude Era, it didn't even matter what people said or did. People wanted to go and watch their favorite wrestlers because all of them were superstars, and they were all stars in the company and out of the company, and everyone cared about what they did. Now, a problem with WWE in the last 10 to 15 years, probably even longer, is building up people organically to be a big star or be what they want them to be. They even push people too hard, like Roman Reigns or John Cena. People that naturally get over with the crowd, they don't benefit from, such as your Daniel Bryans at the start, and even your people like Sami Zayn and LA Knight. It took a long time for them to get into that motion. But not only is wrestling definitely in a boom system, and I think the new era has definitely been a renaissance, just since loads of people talk about it, I think WWE itself is the reason for that. It's one of the big renaissance that we have seen in a very long time. And while a lot of it we know is down to Triple H coming in, and obviously Nick Khan coming in and changing the game with also hiring a lot of smart people, I think WWE has not only become a better viewing experience with the storylines and the people, they have honestly built a lot of really good superstars in the last few years to big height. And this was the thing about this Raw. On this Raw, you had segments of Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. Now to me, these three are all stars. Any one of these could be world champion. They're that built up, their stories are great, their characters great, and people really believe in them as people and as wrestlers. Same can be said about Key Rhea and Dom, and they always seem like good superstars or big superstars now that you care about, and that makes everything a lot better. And obviously with the main event, The Rock, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Cody Rhodes, all of these people, and obviously Roman Reigns when he's there, all feel like big deals, and everyone cares about what they're saying. And even when there's a promo or people don't like something, people are quick to say something because they're so big in the company. This is the biggest similarity I think to the Attitude Era. Everyone feels like they are proper and they are worthy to be here, and it doesn't feel like they are pushing anyone too quickly, with everyone being superstars that people want to see. There's people like LA Knight and AJ Styles. These people are great, and that's just a minor fault on the pay-per-view itself, and even Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. And the fact that they would say in the mid-card right now shows you how good everyone is. Everyone feels worthy, and it doesn't seem like anything's getting wasted. And this this, coupled in with the fact that they have been using blood and swearing a lot more, makes people feel a lot more real in the situations. A lot of people are not really even playing a character anymore, it's more of an extension of themselves, making it a little bit better for kayfabe and sort of breaking all these circumstances. And I think it actually makes the product a lot more watchable and enjoyable. And it's good to pull out a swear or have blood occasionally, because when it happens it shocks you even more. If they were to do this every week, I think it would become a problem, because then it wouldn't feel like it matters anymore. But when these big people that actually deserve it and have made a name for themselves, like The Rock or Cody Rhodes, swear or crack out blood, it makes it feel a lot more real and a lot more notifiable in this situation, and it makes people care a lot more, I think, in these scenarios. And that's why I think WWE did a brilliant job of keeping up the suspense for a very long time now, and then blowing it off hopefully at WrestleMania. Obviously they haven't all the time, and I think that's why this product could be even better than the Attitude Era, or at least on par with it if it continues this way. They need to keep making heroes and keep making villains, and they need to keep going with this system they've got. It simply is working right now, and it will never live up to the Attitude Era, because you simply have to abide by some of the rules now that are a bit different, and they're never going to go completely that direction, because they want to keep their children audience obviously still there, because that's the main purchasers of the apparel for the company. But whipping it out in big moments like this, the build for WrestleMania, a week and a half time for these big matches, I think is a great decision, and I think it does up the ante for all these matches and things to come. But it feels a lot more like the Attitude Era, and a lot more like wrestling is back, because everyone means something, and that's why I would say is the closest similarity. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you agree or disagree, and if you want to see any more of my content, please subscribe and watch my other videos. Thank you.